Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Isn't it a shame Disney got rid of that? Anyway, welcome back to Tip Tuesday. We've got some ideas for you. Let's share. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Renewed Homestead. It's a rainy Tip Tuesday. I actually took notes today because there's a number of things I want to cover and I don't want to forget and leave anything out. But let's just jump right into it here. There are so many acronyms out there and, you know, some make sense, some don't. But I know when I was working at the bank, we had an acronym for every group, every department, everything that we did. And as soon as you learned it, they changed it. So these, in the prepper world, seem to stay pretty constant, but let's jump into these here. So a mag. No, not a magazine that you would put in a pew-pew. No, we're not using the other word because whatever reason we don't want to throw off algorithms, but a mag is a mutual assistance group. That's your like-minded folks that you're working together, and you know they don't necessarily have to be next door neighbors or even in your direct community, just the mental preparedness you work with others. Like Billy and William and Michelle over at Permapastures Farm, you know, they're a short drive away, but they're not our next door neighbors, but they're still part of, we consider them part of our mag because we talk things through and work out issues together. So that's a mag. Teotwawki. Teotwawki. We'll put it in there. We'll put it in the subtitles here because it's the end of the world as we know it.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
Yes, I know QREM. It's been in my head all day since we've talked about this. Not one of my favorite songs, but nonetheless. SHTF. Well, if the poop hits the fan, but using the S word. We won't say it on here. I think we know that, and that doesn't necessarily have to be an all-out nuclear war. It can be just a natural, but be a natural disaster, you know, hurricane, tornado, whatever the case might be. Could be an EMP blast. Sorry, you're in the barn where it's dry because it's raining, and I want to keep the camera dry, obviously, but Rooster's in the background in there, and he's mad because I haven't let him out. Anyway, you hear the term, 2 is 1, 1 is none. I believe it comes from the military. It probably comes from way back, but think of it in terms of what you have in your preparations. I always like to use the example of matches. Okay, if you got a box of matches, thank you, Rooster, and you fall in the water and they're not waterproof matches, now you got nothing to start fire with unless you are really good at doing the stick thing, which can be done, but go watch Castaway and how long it took him to start a fire by the stick method. Anyway, I know I'm kind of going all over the place here. I guess we're going to have Rooster pauses the whole video here. But anyway, so 2 is 1, 1 is none. So you have your regular box of matches, have a lighter, and if you've got a flint starter, have that too. So just have redundancies. Bob. Okay, some folks know Bob for other terms we're not going to discuss here, but Bob in this case is a bug out bag. It's a backpack or some kind of satchel, something that you have your preps in. I used to carry one around in Phoenix. Thank you. I used to carry one around in Phoenix with just, a few snacks, first aid kit, a knife, just a few things that I like to have on hand because I travel, in some cases I would have to go to work or, for a while there we were down at the Capitol every day. So we were on the road quite a bit. And, if something happened and we needed, water or whatever it was, we had it handy and available. So, again, so if you are traveling for work or whatever, it doesn't necessarily have to stay in your car, but it can just be by your door. It's your go bag. It's something you grab when you head out the door if there's an emergency, or have with you if they're in case of an emergency. BOV is a bug out vehicle. Same thing. It's your vehicle that if if something happens and you need to leave, it's your most dependable vehicle typically. It's it's one that you're going to want to make sure you always have a full tank of gas if at all possible. Keep your battery on a trickle charger if you don't use it frequently, but you want to make sure it's ready to go. At your bug out vehicle. Then good, the term good, G-O-O-D, is get out of Dodge. Emergency, you can't stay in your house. If there's, you live in California and there's wildfires and they're coming down the street, good, go. You grab your B-O-B, get in your B-O-V and G-O-O-D. Did you like that? Anyway, and then there's yo-yo. You're on your own. We try not to put things out there in those terms for us because we're trying to help one another, but yo-yo, you're on your own. If things fall out and, all Hades breaks loose, well, it might be a yo-yo situation. So, all right, so that's just some of the acronyms that are out there. I was noticing as I was setting up the camera, one lone little duck sitting out there in the middle of the pond, just enjoying the rain. And now back for more news. Anyway, all right, so another tip, let's talk about family planning. When my daughter Hope was off at college, I told her, I said, hey, if suddenly your phone stops working and all your friends around you, their phones aren't working and you can't...
Rooster.
If you can't get a rooster's opinion, you can't get radio signal or whatever, I told her, I'm like, get on your bicycle and ride home. Because if that's the situation, I'm probably not going to be able to get down there and pick you up in the car. So just get on your bike, hightail it home. So it's planning for the family. You need to look ahead to sorry, he's going to add minutes to this video, clearly. Just look ahead in preparation for issues, if whatever it may be. If you've got family in the area, make a group decision. Whose house are you all going to meet at? Who's got the most preparations, has the most food or water availability, and you got to look at things like, in Phoenix, look, if somebody got a swimming pool, that might be the house you want to go to because you do have water. You're going to have to want to filter it before you drink it, but you have a big source of water versus, if we were back in Phoenix, we probably wouldn't head to my daughter's apartment because, she's on a third story, no swimming pool available there. Maybe this is a bad idea, filming from the barn, but anyway, plan things out with your family. Whether where you're going to bug in or bug out. It's I refer to The Walking Dead. If you look at just some of the even if you don't watch the show, but you look at some of the pictures from the episodes, you see the highways coming out of Atlanta with just gridlocked cars. I mean, you're going to get on the road and be stuck. And places like Arizona where it is hot, I have seen it on a Memorial Day weekend or whatever. Everybody in the valley, not everybody, but a small percentage, but that small percentage going up to the Mogollon Rim, up in the Payson area, the road, it's normally an hour and a half drive. It take 3 and 4 hours because there's so many cars and you can't get out. In Phoenix, as I mentioned before, there's basically 5 main highways to get out, 5 main roads, and if you're stuck out in the middle of somewhere, it's all desert. So, plan ahead, think about those things, and as you're planning, look at where you're heading too. If I was in Phoenix, I'm not going to want to head west if there's some kind of nuclear issue because we've got Palo Verde nuclear power plant out there, and the last thing you want to do is head towards an issue. Really, the last thing you want to do is head towards California anyway, but that's a whole nother issue. But look at your surrounding area. Are you better off staying at home, and having family meet you there? Yeah, that's all going to be individual decisions. But
why don't you keep your opinions to yourself?
One of the things we've talked about a lot is long-range communications, because our kids are in Arizona, we're here on the East Coast. So if suddenly we can't reach them by cell phone, We're trying to work that out, and we'll do a whole nother video on it. And I've talked to Billy about that, but we'll figure some way to be able to communicate with the kids, because I can't think of anything worse than to know, there's a big issue going on around the world or in the United States particularly, and we can't reach our kids. We've told them just get here any way you can, but not knowing, and if somehow they wound up on foot or riding bicycles, whatever it is, to get out here, it could be weeks before we hear anything. So we're working on getting something set up, and we'll go into detail with that, more in the future. But switching gears a little bit, let's talk about storage.
Storage space.
Again, my daughter's in an apartment. My son Alec is in an apartment. They don't have a lot of storage. So we've talked to them about, preps and buying a little bit extra food and all that. It's like, well, we don't have a huge pantry. You don't need a huge pantry. Most everybody has a big space under their bed, unless you're a teenager and that's where all your crap gets shoved. But I'll leave that comment aside. But what a great thing to do is get some of the plastic totes with the lids. You can put extra food and dried goods, those kind of things, slide those under the bed. But we've talked about water. Well, there's an instant place to put water. If the water's getting shut off or there's an issue with the water coming, dump those totes out, fill that with water. You can clean up the food later, but now you've got extra water storage. Some of those things are, they're huge. You fit several gallons of water in that thing, besides filling your bathtub. But anyway, so storing things under your bed. How about cans? They make those over the door racks that you can roll cans in. Those don't have to just go in their pantry. You can put them on the backside of maybe the guest bathroom that doesn't get used very often, your bedroom closet, the back of your office. It's just more places that you can store food. Another one that I've actually used for a couple of things, but a bookshelf. Now, okay, you don't want to display, your cans of tomato sauce, whatever it is, or maybe you do if it's home canned stuff. I love looking at the food that you grew and stored, and it's like, hey, this is what I did. But if you don't want to do that, you got a bookshelf. Just pull those books forward. You can hide, if you feel the need, you can hide cans back there. You can hide pew food, as I call it. Because, again, you don't want to set off any algorithms, but you know what I mean. You can hide some of those back there. So, if you have a safe, if somebody were to break in, the safe's going to be the first place they go, and probably spend time there. So if there were things that you needed to hide, just hide them behind some books. Pretty hard to tell, especially if it's like eye level. They're not going to be able to tell there's a gap back there. Just some ideas for you. We've been saying on several videos, please just buy an extra can of whatever it is, or an extra, couple extra boxes of pasta. Food prices are going up. I know it sounds, all conspiracy theory minded, but there are food shortages coming. The Rockefeller Foundation, very solid, reputable research team, came out yesterday or today and said, we are 6 months from a food crisis. So what we've been telling you all along, get some plants in the ground, get, anywhere you can grow. Thank you for that pause, Rooster. We were watching another channel this morning. I believe it was Ice Age Prepper. One of his viewers got some baskets, hanging baskets for their balcony. They live in an apartment, and they have hanging baskets. So now there's a place to grow some food that they didn't have before. And this person is thinking ahead, and they made a raised bed. They just got some boards. Well, clearly they don't have carpentry skills, because what they did was they actually duct taped the corners together. But it works. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It's dirt on the patio in their apartment. They're able to grow some food. Is it going to sustain them for a long period? Probably not, but they're doing something. They're taking those steps. And not only that, but they're learning valuable lessons about growing food. It's like, how much water...
At times like this, I guess all you can do is laugh.
how much water does it need? You know, how much sunlight, those kind of things. You know, even if it doesn't grow very well, that person's learning from that experience, and hopefully, you know, down the road we'll be able to grow more food in an, you know, another location at some point. Let me see. Was there something else I wanted to talk about? The dramatic rooster pause. Thank you, Rooster. I don't think there was, but that's just some of the tips. I know we've got some more ideas coming in, but these are ones that felt a little more pertinent for the moment, so I wanted to get this to you. Again, it's a rainy day. Oh, that was it. In your bug out bag, one of the things that you really need to consider taking along and having with you is a couple of like big garbage sacks, like the big black garbage bags. No, not because you're going to be picking up garbage on the road or wherever you go, but they make great rain gear. Like right now, it's raining on me. If I were out on the road and had a flat tire and had to change it or whatever, didn't have a coat or an umbrella, and changing a tire with an umbrella is impossible, take that garbage bag, cut a couple holes for your sleeves, cut a hole for your head, and you've got a tarp to keep you somewhat dry. It's better than nothing, and it can keep you warm too. You know, if you're in your car and it's in the winter and you break down or whatever and you're stuck for a while, that is one more layer of warmth around you. So anyway, just big, hefty, just one thing you want to really have in your bug out bag. A couple extra in the car anyway, I always do, is, you know, again, if you're changing a tire or whatever and you don't have a sheet of cardboard, which I always do, slip under that carpet in the trunk, sheet of cardboard and some plastic, and that way you're not laying on the hot concrete or cold concrete or wet, muddy, whatever it is. You got something to lay on to work on your car, whatever you need to do. So Rooster says it's time to go, I guess. So anyway, all right, Tip Tuesday, that's what we've got. If you got some ideas or things you want to share, please comment. Make sure you're subscribed. I know that algorithm's hitting things again really weird. People are getting unsubscribed, so double check. Hit the bell notification so when these get posted, you get alerted. We need a little bit less than 1,000 more hours of view to get into the money side of YouTube, which is pretty dang exciting. I mean, I know, hey, we're not getting rich off of this, but we just love sharing, and we've hit that 1,000. I think 1,100 subscribers now, a little bit over. So that's really, really, really cool. But anyway, comment, give us the thumbs up. As always, be good to yourself and each other. May God bless you and your family. Get your pets spayed and neutered. We'll be praying for you all. Take care. Bye, everybody.